Hello everyone. On today's episode of Reno, I'm not quite sure you've been wearing pants in any of these videos. Today we're talking about the concept of compliance. I get a lot of people commenting on my videos the same thing about saying that you should not comply, or they don't understand why people do or do not comply with certain laws. They say that people are cowards for complying with the assault weapon ban or various other laws. And I want to kind of break that down and get my viewpoint on compliance out of the way. I want to kind of give some reasoning for either side and talk generally about the idea of complying and maybe whether you should or whether you shouldn't. Keep in mind, this is not legal advice, and if you do break the law, you may potentially be held accountable for those actions, regardless of whether or not you or I agree with the laws. Before we do that, I want to say thank you to a couple people. I want to say thank you to Daryl, Aiden, and Ron. You guys really rock, as well as Nut in My Pantsy and Thickcock45 and Larry Thickers. You guys really rock. I appreciate all the support that I've been getting from the Patreon, from liking and commenting and subscribing. Everyone that's joined the Discord, there is a $1 tier, or any of the tiers on the Patreon will allow you to get into the Discord, but I do drop a link down with each video that's good for the first 25 people to join. If you want to do that, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine. Let's just talk about the concept today. Compliance. Should you comply? Should you not comply? Well, I get a lot of people, basically the same comments, saying that you should not comply, asking why are people bending down and complying with the law? A lot of people falsely assume that because I make videos discussing the laws and breaking down what the assault weapon ban is, breaking down how to legally transport, how to follow the law, they assume that because I'm discussing what the law is and how to do things properly in the eyes of the law, that I agree with those laws. And I think there really couldn't be anything further from the truth. I disagree fundamentally with pretty much any gun law. Anything that isn't don't kill people that don't need to die, I don't think that that law should be in effect. And at which point, all gun laws are an infringement. Shout out to Johnny B from Shall Not Comply. Cool shirts. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you don't. Don't get a shop. That's not an ad. He just sent me these shirts. But the concept of me discussing what the law is does not mean that I agree with the law. I just want people to understand what the law is. Whether they choose to follow it or not, totally up to them. I want to reiterate, I don't care what you do with your life. That is your life. If you are not negatively impacting anyone else, that doesn't affect me in any way whatsoever, and I don't really care. So if you choose to break the law, all I ask is that you do so safely. I mean, at the end of every one of my videos, I say, have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. And part of what that really means to me is, if you're gonna break the law and you are a gun rights advocate, please don't end up in jail, because if you end up in jail, not only does that add to gun crime as far as stats, it also means that you're not able to influence other people. You're not able to teach people how to shoot. You're not able to teach your potentially anti-gun coworker what guns are really about. You're not able to tell people at the Thanksgiving dinner, hey, Aunt Sally, the AR-15, it doesn't stand for Assault Rifle 15. You're not able to have those discussions when you're in jail. Furthermore, many times when people leave jail, they no longer have their gun rights, and that doesn't help us. I'm not saying that you shouldn't not comply. What I'm saying is that if you choose to break the law, please do so in a way that doesn't affect you or your family or the ability for your message to reach other people. If you do choose to break the law, that's fine. It's honestly probably not going to affect me too much directly, and I probably won't lose too much sleep over it. I do discuss cases like Alan Sun or Greg Wong, people that broke the law and got caught or boned by it. And that's one thing, but it's ultimately not going to harm me if you choose to have an assault weapon in your home. And let's get on to the next topic. Assault weapon. Many points in a lot of my videos, I talk about the assault weapon ban. I try my best, and I know it bothers people, not to use my hands when I talk. I'm going to continue to do so, but oftentimes I will say assault weapon. Sometimes I say the word assault weapon without putting in quotes. What I'm intending to try to do with that is get the idea across that I don't believe that that's a real term, in terms of I don't think that that is a actually valid description of what we're talking about, but the state of California and many other states do consider that the legal definition of some firearms. I don't agree with the assault weapon ban, but many times I need to discuss with people, hey, if you're going to put a vertical foregrip on that gun, you should understand that it's not legal. That way they can properly transport that gun. So let's say you got your unregistered assault weapon in the state of California. I've made a video talking about pro tips for non-compliance. One of the great ways about doing it in California is if the gun is not assembled in an assault weapon configuration, even if all the other parts are present, it makes it so that you aren't actually in possession of an assault weapon. So if you're going to break the law, I try to give people as much information as possible to do so safely. Obviously, I do not agree with the assault weapon ban. I need to make that very clear. If you choose to comply with it, that's probably for many good reasons, and we'll talk about that next. But if you choose to not comply with it, please understand what you're doing. I only want people to understand the law so that they can make an informed decision as to whether they follow it or don't. Because ultimately, like I said, it doesn't affect me. If, however, you do choose to break the law, please do so in a way that is safe. I'm just harping on that, and I know. But let's talk about why people comply. First, I need to get this out of the way. For legal reasons on this channel, am forced to comply with the law much more than I would. I have to dot my T's and cross my I's. I have to make sure that everything that I do is legit. Unfortunately, having a channel that has gotten as much attention as it has, having a channel that has reached as many people as it has, it comes with some responsibilities. I know that Gavin Newsom and the DOJ, they're probably vaguely aware of at least a few videos that I've put out when it comes to the Title I or various, maybe some other topics as well, based on the fact that I get a lot of people that claim to be cops commenting on my videos, and I'm sure if they've seen them, they've probably shown them to someone, and they've probably ended up showing them to someone that they thought might like the video, but turns out they don't like the video. So I am sure people that don't agree with what we're doing here have seen my videos. What sucks about that is I fear, and I feel like I would be more likely to be targeted by some sort of raid, sting, operation, whatever it is. I'm not paranoid, but I'm aware that I am a figurehead in a sense, and that's a very vain, dickish way to describe it, but I know that my benefit to the community as the gun community as a whole, is going against what the people in power, like the Department of Justice and Gavin Newsom and all the other Democratic representatives in the state, are going towards. They're trying to get gun control passed. I'm trying to make the exact opposite happen. They have power. I don't necessarily have the power. I know that what I'm doing is directly oppositional to them, and I fear that I could be involved in some sort of sting or whatever. I fear more likely to be targeted, and ultimately the risk is more so than in the average person. For me, the loss that would go away if I went away, I'm no longer able to reach people. I'm no longer able to influence people. I get on a daily basis people saying that they bought their first gun because of some of the videos that I've made. And that's cool, and that makes me feel accomplished with this channel. But what I understand is if that I go away, I'm no longer able to do that. I'm no longer able to reach those people. And that's not what I want. I want to make sure that if some weird FPS Russia kind of stuff happened to me, that I would be able to walk away clean and not get in trouble for it. And that's why I personally have to, or feel like I have to, comply with laws more than I would say that I used to. And that's unfortunate. But why does the average person, why does everyday Joe Schmo comply with the assault weapon ban? Why don't they go out of state and buy guns that they shouldn't? Why don't they go out of state and buy ammo and bring it back? Well, the answer to that question is two answers, actually. First, many people do. You might not be surprised to learn that many people actually just straight up don't comply. There are a lot of laws in the state of California that are almost unenforceable, and if you play your cards right, you're not going to get caught. We've talked about the bigger implications of Freedom Week when it comes to magazines, as far as how does someone prove that you didn't get this during Freedom Week? And that's a big thing. Many people I know that many people are going out to Nevada, to Arizona, to Oregon, buying magazines, and then definitely not bringing them back into the state. Now, the assault weapon ban, that's probably the biggest talked about. Why are people complying? Well, everybody has different risk tolerances. Everybody has a different way of life. Everyone has different risks, you know? Not everyone's life is the same, and because of that, you have to look at your own situation and do a risk analysis. What do I risk? What do I gain? What do I lose? So, if you choose to not comply with the assault weapon ban, let's say that you choose to have a fully featured AR with 30 round mags that are detachable, versus you choose to have a featureless gun that has detachable 30 round magazines, and you have to deal with the funky grip. What do you gain by breaking the law? Well, you can get a flash hider, you can get a vertical foregrip, and you can get a better functional grip on your gun. But with the modern advancements with featureless guns, the differences become very minimal. When you go with something like the Juggernaut or the Sparrow Dynamics grip with a fixed stock, well, stocks typically, you're going to put it in a spot and keep it there. You're not going to be adjusting it on the fly in a gunfight. Many people choose to put muzzle brakes or compensators on their defensive guns anyway. So what you're really losing out is the ability to get a vertical foregrip on it, and you're losing a good grip. You can still wrap your thumb around, but it's just not quite a pistol grip. Now, that's definitely a benefit. That's more ergonomically sound in a defensive or a gunfight situation. Now, what's the risk? What do you lose if you get caught with that? Well, you can go to prison for 10 years. It's a felony and you lose your gun rights. You're potentially no longer able to provide for your family or your loved ones. You're a loss to the 2A community and you're no longer able to influence people. It's going to be a lot of money that you're losing. You're basically ruining your whole life so that you can have a pistol grip and an adjustable stock with the features that you want. So many people are able to take that risk because they might live out in the boonies, or they might be friends with all the county sheriffs or the DAs, and the laws might not impact them, or the likelihood of them impacting them is so small that it becomes worth it for them to make that decision. And that's fine. Many people choose to just completely ignore the fact that the risk exists out of pure disagreement with the laws. And I would have to say that, I used to be one of those people. I'm no longer anymore. For legal reasons, actually, I've always complied with every single law. I never jaywalk. I never speed more than 1 mile per hour over the speed limit. I never drive in the carpooling when I'm not supposed to. I am a perfect model citizen. But many people choose to actually break those laws. But the reason many people don't is just because they have to make that choice for themselves, and they see the risk of losing everything they've worked for and not being able to provide for their families as a higher likelihood of impacting them than the need to have a gun that has a pistol grip. Ultimately, it's a personal decision that everyone has to make. I don't care if you choose to follow the law or break the law. All I'm asking is that if you watch these videos, that you try to learn, you try to absorb the information I'm giving you, you then make a decision. Do you choose to break the law? If you choose to break the law, please do so safely. Please do not end up on another GoFundMe that I have to throw $300 toward, aka Alan's son. Please do not make me do that for you. Please. If you choose to follow the law, that's fine. What I ask of you, as I've asked for the people that have not complied, what I ask of you is to go out of your way to teach people, teach the people that are anti-gun what gun ownership actually is, what it looks like, what it's like. We need to educate more people, we need to reach more people, and ultimately, that's the goal of this channel. I hope this answers some questions. I hope this gets the conversation going. If this is something that you guys want to have a discussion on a live chat, I'm interested in doing that today, maybe. But you guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.